gender selection and adoption. Yeah. Hey guys, today I want to talk to you guys about selecting a gender or gender preference or whatever you want to call it. With international adoption, I am choosing a gender or requesting a gender, I guess you could say. I just want to talk to you guys about why and my thoughts about it and whatnot. So usually I am like, don't request a gender, just take what you get, especially if you've been on a journey for a long time, which I have. Usually it's just pick whatever you get. If they offer you a male, take a male. If they offer you a female, take the female. You shouldn't really be that picky. For me though, right now, I am being picky. Part of that is because I've been on this journey long enough that I need to have some sort of control over something, and if that means picking a gender, then that's my control. The other thing is I am doing special needs adoption. I am hopefully adopting a child with Down syndrome. I met with the agency last summer, and she basically said, "Are you open to special needs?" And I had a list of special needs, and she went through it, and she's like, "Down syndrome. You'll have a child within a year." She's like, "I've seen matches as quickly as 2 weeks." So she's like, that's kind of your game plan. And since then, I've been reading up on Down syndrome and whatnot. And it was cool because when me and my brother went on a cruise this past fall, we actually were on a cruise with a group from the States that is like Down syndrome children and their parents, and they do like this is their like conference. They do the conference on the cruise. So it was really, really cool to see the range of ability in Down syndrome children, as well as seeing how normal they are, and whatnot. So it was just really cool to just kind of get a better idea of what it would be like to be a Down syndrome parent. Obviously not completely, but it just was like a tiny little glimpse in what my future might be like, especially if we take these cruises for this conference and stuff. So that was really cool. And then recently I came across this Gathered Nest. I'll post the link up here as well as down below. She is a mother of 5 children, 2 biological and 3 adopted. And her latest adoption was a Down syndrome little girl from China. And watching the interactions of her and just seeing how she is just amazing. And she homeschools. I don't know what her plans are for homeschooling the child with Down syndrome, but just seeing the interactions and how normal everything is. Like, I'm sure out in public there's people that look at their family, but I don't know that they look at their family because of the girl with Down syndrome. I think they might look at their family because they're a family of 5 that's interracial. But anyway, so for me, I just feel like that is my best option, and my true path. Like, this is what I've gone through everything for. I've gone through all of the stuff to bring me to this conclusion of this is where I need to be. And for me, like, just reading all the stuff with Down syndrome has just been amazing. So if you do want book suggestions on what to read, let me know and I can give you some book suggestions. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm heading. So anyway, gender selection. So for me, Down syndrome children often potty train late. And also they obviously have different needs than, I don't know how to call it, normal children. I hate that word, but so yeah. So for me, I am specifying a female, and the reason for that is just physicalness. It is a lot easier for me to toilet train a female than a male. Normally, if you are toilet training your son, he's gonna be what, 2, 3, 4 and be toilet training. He'll be done before he starts school, and then that's the end of it. With Down syndrome children, they often potty train late. Some boys even later. Like, I've read stories of them being 12, 13 and not toilet trained. And not so much at home, but in public. I don't know how you deal with that. If I had a partner and he was able to take him into the men's washroom for stuff like that, that's different. But for me as a female, I just don't feel comfortable taking my 12, 13-year-old into a public female washroom with me, so that way I can have him go to the bathroom or change whatever diaper he's wearing or whatever, right? Like, it's just so much more complicated. Whereas if I have a girl who's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and she's not fully potty trained, we go into the woman's bathroom, we go into the big wheelchair accessible stall, we do whatever we need to do, and then we leave. Like, there's no, like, weirdness about it. There's no awkwardness about it. Not everywhere has family bathrooms. Like, I'm lucky because our malls do, but most stores do not. So, for me, it's just so much, it makes more sense logically. The other thing is puberty. I have no clue how to teach a boy anything, and I don't have the best male role models in my house or in my family, and I just don't think that that's something I even want to deal with as a single female. I think just as a single mother without a male partner, I just think that it's so much easier for me to raise a daughter than it is for me to raise a son. There's other things too, such as travel. Traveling with another female is a lot easier. If me, my brother, and my child go on a trip together, he has his own bed and me and my daughter share a bed. Whereas if I had a son, I don't really want my 10-year-old son sharing my bed, but I really don't want my brother to have to share a bed with him either. Like, it's just awkward. And sure, you can ask for cots and whatnot, but you can't always. And why should my child have to sleep on a cot? So there's just some things like that that's just more awkward. So for me, just raising a daughter is just an easier choice than raising a son. And like I said, if I was giving birth or if I was adopting a child without special needs, I would just take whatever. And I've actually thought about adopting a child from, I think it was like South Africa, has a lot of children with hepatitis B. I could be mistaken, but males with hepatitis B are more available in some countries. And so I've considered that. The thing is, the timelines for those are like 18 to 24 months. Whereas with Bulgaria, which is where I'm planning on adopting from, she said I would have a child within a year. I'm going to expand that a bit because my thinking is requesting a female, I might take longer. But for me, it's just one of those things where I feel like having a daughter with Down syndrome is what I meant to have, and I understand it the most, and it's one of those disabilities that is visible. So if my child had, say, hepatitis B, and it would obviously not be public. Like, when we go out in public, no one's going to know that he has hepatitis B. But for those who would know, people don't understand hepatitis B. They think that, like, Hep B is like this horrible thing, and if you catch it if you touch them kind of thing. And I think it's really hard for a child to not have that physical contact because people think they might catch something from them. And obviously not the case. And here in Canada, most people are vaccinated. And if I were to adopt a Hep B child, my immediate family, I would make sure everyone's vaccinated. But the general public just doesn't understand it. And they just don't get it. Whereas Down syndrome, yes, there's a lot of stereotyping. There's a lot of people who still are like, I feel like my brother's kind of that way, where he just doesn't get it. But for the general public, they see my child, they know that they have Downs. It's just very, very, like, there. So there's not like this hidden special need that my child has. And if we go for, say, occupational therapy or something, we have a great children's center by us, and we go in there and the people there will roughly know what my child needs. Whereas with, say, Hep B, I might have to find like a specialist that might actually understand a child that has Hep B, because it's just not one of those popular things here in Canada. But anyway, so I'm rambling about disabilities that don't even matter because I'm not doing that. I'm doing the Bulgaria special needs adoption. Anyway, gender-wise, I just think that it is so much easier for me to just specify gender and wait it out than it is for me to accept a referral for a male and have to deal with the logistical issues with that. It just, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I'm not choosing based off gender because of preference really. I mean, I always have had a slight gender preference towards a female, but that's again only because it's easier to take a 5-year-old girl into the washroom with you than a 5-year-old boy into the washroom with you. And where's like that cutoff age where, like, if you had a non-special needs child, where's the cutoff where you no longer take them in with you and you let them go into the male bathroom by themselves? Like a 7-year-old going into the male bathroom by themselves, I don't even know if I would be comfortable with that. So just always had that slight gender preference for a girl, but now with having a special needs child that is almost guaranteed to toilet train late, and also just have more complex physical issues as a female, it's a lot easier for me to deal with that than having a male child. So that's kind of why I am selecting a female child. I know there's people that are probably going to be like, why don't you just take whatever? But for me, as a single female, if I had a partner, things would be different because he could deal with more things. But as a female that is single, I can't really, it's a lot more challenging. So I want something to be slightly easier for me, and this is my way of doing it. So have a little bit more control over something and make something slightly more easier for me. If it means waiting longer, so be it, but that's kind of my thing. So that is my thoughts about gender selection with adoption. For me, that's what I'm doing. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. However, if you are rude to me and calling me names or making super rude comments to me, I will delete them and block you from my channel. Just a little disclaimer there. I don't really care what you think. I know people, myself included, who have judged people for basing it off gender. However, every person's their own person, and you gotta make the choice that's right for your family. So anyway, thanks for watching. I shall see you guys later. Bye guys.